Raise your hand if you're ready to talk about how to blow up on YouTube. My hand is all the way up. I wish these were the types of videos I could find when I was starting my YouTube channel. Like, there was some YouTube help. I won't say there wasn't, but it wasn't to the scale that it is now, and people generally were giving pretty surface level advice. This is not gonna be surface level. This is gonna be like mad strategy that's gonna help you actually blow up on YouTube in the next 6 months, if that's your goal. Now, my channel has had a little bit of a glow up lately, which I'm loving. But if you're new here, hi, I'm Jessica. This is where you can learn all the creator-y things, the creator tips, the strategies, the money-making strategies, the tech, all of it right here. So make sure you hit subscribe if you're new and you're loving what you're seeing. Okay, first and foremost, I need to tell you about a workshop that I'm doing this week. So if you're watching this video in live real time, I'm doing this workshop this week. If you are watching this video not in real time, definitely still click the link, see if there's a replay available. Totally useful to you too. But it is called Loud, Visible, and Profitable. The creator strategy that no one's teaching you until now, of course, because I'm gonna teach it in the workshop. I'm basically gonna teach you how to build content that gets seen, gets shared, and makes money even with a small audience, okay? So if you are like, oh, I've been creating content and I don't know why I'm still getting 100 views everywhere I go, or I wanna start creating content, but I'm not sure what to do. This is going to pave the path for you to figure out how exactly to put all of this together to make money from your content so that you can become a full-time creator, pay your bills, do a side hustle, whatever you wanna do. I'm gonna cover the 3 big like creator myths or content myths that are keeping you stuck in that 100 view jail and keeping you not making money from your content. Gonna cover that. Then I'm gonna cover the truth about content that actually converts. Again, that nobody's telling you. People are telling you certain strategies, but we're gonna talk about the truth here, okay? And then I'm gonna teach you the secret sauce behind all of this, how to actually get like visible and get paid, okay? So all of that is gonna go down in this workshop. It's completely free. Just go to heyjessica.com/getloud, and I'll make sure it's linked below in the description too. So that's happening this week. Click the link, sign up, totally free, be there live. There'll be gifts, they'll be fun, and we'll learn more about the things that we're gonna talk about in this video. Alrighty, so if you are wanting to blow up on YouTube in the next 6 months, you are someone who's, again, either started on YouTube and you're just not getting anywhere, or you're looking to get on YouTube, but you want like that full strategy, these are the things that I say wholeheartedly will make the biggest difference. And the first section of this, the things we have to talk about first, are what you need to actually get started on the right foot. And you may not like this first thing that I say, but hang with me, because I probably don't mean it in the way that you think that I mean it, but you have got to niche down. You have to have a niche. All right, so hear me out, okay? A lot of people come to YouTube with this multi-passionate idea that they're gonna be able to, you know, put everything on one channel and that channel just skyrocket because they've seen other people do it, or maybe they haven't, but they just think that like that's what they wanna do, right? We're kind of past the days where you can just throw anything up on a channel and it do well. Look at the biggest creators. Look at the people who have been on this platform for 10 years. Look at the people who've been on this platform for 10 years and continue to be the biggest creators. Look at the people who are skyrocketing to fame, or, you know, from beginning to like 100,000 subscribers really fast. What is happening with them, all of them, is that they are niching down in some way, shape, or another. So we look at people like Mr. Beast, right? I hate to use him as an example, but he's one that a lot of people know. So Mr. Beast is sensationalized game style content, right? That is his niche. People who enjoy that type of content are going to be the people who watch his content. People like Johnny Harris, who, you know, yes, he's following his interest, and you can tell that because one video is going to be about food prices and why food is so expensive, and another one's going to be about like North Korea. But he is still following this through line of the people who are going to want to watch his content. The people is your niche, okay? The people who are going to want to watch a video about what's actually happening in North Korea, a big, like what's happening in Russia, what's happening in politics. So why is our food expensive? Those are the same people. The same goes for Mr. Beast or who's another big creator? Mark Rober, for instance. So Mark Rober does a lot of like science-backed experiments. Dude Perfect. So my kids love Dude Perfect. Actually, I love Dude Perfect too. But they love Dude Perfect, and like the through line of the person who's going to want to watch all of their videos is similar, okay? So when I say to niche down, I don't necessarily mean on topic. Now, if you want to niche down on topic, you're probably gonna grow way faster than somebody who doesn't, because like YouTube is going to be like, oh my gosh, that topic does really well for them. I'm gonna keep showing it for people, right? But if you don't want to niche down on topic, I need you to at least niche down on person, okay? So here on this channel, I talk to creators, to people who want to make a business out of being a creator. I talk to people who want, that type of lifestyle, who want to make money, who need camera recommendations, like whatever the scenario is, right? So that niche is very similar, that those topics, while all over the place, all pertain to that person. Now, throughout the years, I've started second channels, and I have a second channel that's more like a vlog channel that I plan to revive in the next little bit. And on that one, I'm still going to be talking to people who are creators, but I'm going to be showing more of the behind the scenes, more of the life behind it, more of the things that I can't really talk about on this channel because they don't do well, and because the people who are here for information. I'm going to be able to do that on that channel, right? So you've got to pick a niche. And by niche, I mean who really is watching this and how can you follow that through line through. The second thing you need to really get started on the right foot to make sure that in 6 months we're doing really good is a basic knowledge of how to use YouTube. Now, I'm not specifically going to cover YouTube strategy in the workshop that I'm teaching this week, but I do have courses on YouTube strategy. I do have an entire program that goes into it. So this is something you can dive more into in a paid way like that, but also, y'all, there's so many free videos on Al Gore's internet that are going to be able to help you learn this platform. Everything I learned about YouTube as a platform to grow at first was completely free information. Podcast, YouTube videos, things like that. I did eventually pay for someone else's knowledge and pay to kind of, go a little bit more in depth a few times in my career. But for the most part, that beginning part all started for free. So scour the internet. Scour this channel. I have a shit ton of information about YouTube here, okay? So figure out how YouTube works. How does it work? How do the thumbnails work? How do the analytics work? How does the algorithm work? Like, figure this stuff out. You're going to need that to actually be successful. A lot of people will start just kind of throwing up videos, okay? So like, here's a video and here's a video. They're like Oprah styling it, right? Like, you get a car and you get a video and you get a video. But they'll start doing that and they won't really take the time to understand what about videos do well, what about videos don't do well, what titles work well, what are tags, what are thumbnails, how can we, learn about thumbnails, what time of day should I post, like all of these things that go into the YouTube algorithm. They don't take the time to learn about that. And then those people will be frustrated in 6 months. But you're not gonna be those people. You're not gonna be frustrated in 6 months because you've got this video. And the last piece of the things you need to get started is you need a camera. This is a perfectly fine camera, okay? Use the back camera so you have these good cameras facing you. And if you're like, oh, how do I use the back camera and see myself? There's so many tricks nowadays. There's monitors you can hook here. You can kind of share your screen with your laptop or your computer and see it that way. You can, there's so many things. There's tripods with mirrors attached to them. Use the back camera, okay? But this is a perfectly acceptable camera. The one upgrade I would say is if you're sitting far away from this, get some kind of external microphone system, which we will talk about in just a second. Otherwise, perfectly good camera. Now, next week, I think next week, I'm going to talk more about like the gear that you need with YouTube and kind of giving you options and running down that type of thing. But just to kind of like give you some quick options, you've got your phone. You've also got something like the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, which I absolutely love. It's probably dead right now. It's been sitting out in my car. Oh, it's not dead. But I absolutely love it because it films horizontal and vertical video. And it's like really compact and awesome. And I keep this little stand on it so I can just like set it down. You can also attach it to a tripod. Love this bad boy, okay? So this is an option. It is a bajillion dollars more expensive right now because of the tariffs, but it's worth it probably if you're looking for a good camera. And there's also really, really good like up levels to, you know, your phone or the Osmo Pocket 3 from Sony. Sony is my favorite camera brand, especially for creators. They have an entire creator line, which is their ZV line. So I have the ZV-E1, which is their full frame, kind of top of the line, creator line camera, which I love. But they also have the ZV-1 and the ZV-1F and all of these cameras that will get you a little bit of a step up from something like this or something like this and give you a more dedicated camera, which this is a dedicated camera, but you get what I mean. So there's options, okay? But you need a camera and my camera's about to die, so I've got to switch out the battery. I'll be right back. You won't even notice I was gone. Honestly, I need to get one of those like plug into the wall batteries for this camera. I have one for the camera that I use as a webcam, but I've just procrastinated getting one for this camera, but I need to do that. Anyway, get a camera, okay? Don't care what it is. It does not matter what it is. Do not film with your webcam. Do not film with the front camera of your phone, and you'll be solid. Now, next we need to talk about mics. So here's the thing. If you're sitting pretty close to your camera, especially if it's like your phone or, you know, even this camera, you're probably gonna get decent audio. You really don't have to go with the mic route. However, if you're sitting any bit far away from the camera or you're in a room that's echoey, like my office is pretty echoey, then you're probably going to need a mic that sits closer to you because it's going to mitigate some of that echo. I personally love the DJI Mini. So this is what it looks like. The one I'm wearing right now does not have a windscreen on it. That windscreen just kind of pops off and then it's like a tiny little guy. The other option is a DJI Mic 2, which these things do the same thing, okay? I love this guy. But do you see how much bigger he is than this one? If you get the Osmo Pocket 3, it comes with this microphone, but, and I do love it and I use it all the time. But for sitting here and filming or doing anything where, you know, the mic has to be clipped to my shirt, this is an obvious winner. Also, this setup for 2 mics with the windscreen and whatever, you know, all the things are cheaper significantly than if you just buy this mic if you're not getting the Osmo Pocket 3. So it comes in a little thing like this. I've got the one I'm wearing and then I've also got the adapter on the top of my camera. It comes with USB-C and Lightning cables or adapters so that you can use it with your phone too. So this is a really good system regardless of what you're using the mic with. There's also phone specific things. So like Rode has this one that this little doohickey just plugs into your phone. I got the Lightning one before I switched my phones, but then this little adapter, same thing. And this is gonna be a little bit cheaper. And then there's even like $20 options on Amazon that I will link below. You need some kind of mic. Let's make ourselves sound a little bit better. I promise your channel will do better if you sound better. People will actually watch videos that have less video quality, but they won't watch videos that sound like crap. Studies have proven this. Now that we have kind of, you know, what are you gonna need to get started? The second thing I want you to do to really plan your glow up and your blow up is to plan your content. And listen, somebody out here on the internet is giving bad advice. A lot of people will tell you to go after search and do things that are SEO heavy and search heavy. And while yes, also no. Where we really want to fall in the algorithm of YouTube is in the suggested videos, which means that YouTube is like, oh, we think your video would do really well with this person, so we're gonna suggest it to them, okay? That is the like butter part of a YouTube strategy. As you can see here, I have a video that has done really well since I published it, and you can see that the majority of the traffic has come from YouTube suggesting this video, not from search. So go outside of search, make it fun and exciting. Create videos that you would enjoy watching. Like, don't just leave this as like a cookie cutter, my title's gonna be like really search driven kind of strategy. Create videos that people want to watch that sure hit on certain topics and have certain keywords, but that people actually want to click on and watch. If you're going to be publishing once a week, having your content planned out for at least the month is a really solid strategy. If you can even go ahead and film these videos for the month, you are going to be a step ahead of everybody else. And if you can get in the rhythm of filming videos ahead of time and having some things ready, you will never fall behind on your schedule, which we're going to talk about next. And the people who don't fall behind on their schedule do better every time. Now, you may be like, how do I plan my content? How do I know what videos to do? There's a couple things that I would suggest. One, I would go to people's channels who have channels similar to yours, who have people who are watching their channel similar to yours, and I would see what does well for them, and can you put a new spin on that? Secondarily to that, what do you like to talk about? What do you think your audience is going to want you to talk about? Like, don't negate or second guess your own intuition and your own ideas. And then third of all, use ChatGPT, my buddy ChatGPT. Use him to help you figure out some ideas. Some of my best ideas have come from a ChatGPT prompt, and not because it gave me the best idea or the best title or whatever, but because it gave me a place to start. It sparked an idea. It helped me spark an idea, like whatever. Go to ChatGPT and be like, hi, I'm wanting to start a channel about X. Can you help me come up with 10 ideas? And when you find 1 or 2 ideas on that list of 10 that you just love, have it expand on those. Like, okay, I love number 2 and number 4. Can you build me more ideas like this? Like, this is the direction I want to go. Correct it, work with it. Let it help you come up with some ideas. That is never a bad idea. And when you're planning your content and we're talking about being more consistent or being consistent, 1 time a week on YouTube is the bare minimum. You cannot grow on this platform without publishing at least 1 time a week. Now, inevitably, somebody's gonna hop in my comments and be like, oh my God, well, so-and-so does such and such. And I don't care what so-and-so does. So-and-so was the exception to the rule, started earlier than you, something else, and they got away with it. You cannot, okay? 1 time a week, at least, 2 times a week, even better, and you can kind of get in a good rhythm of what works best for you here. Now, next, if you actually want to blow up, is to find your differentiator. What makes you different from the other people in your niche, in your industry, whatever the scenario is. YouTube and the internet as a whole, right? Like TikTok, Instagram, everybody is pretty highly saturated right now. So how can you do something, be something, say something, whatever, to be different than the other people in your industry? There's a quote by Sally Hogshead that I have literally kept in here for a decade. Different is better than better. And that is so freaking true, especially with something like YouTube, especially with content, especially with social media. When you can stand up and be different, you are going to stand out. You might be thinking how am I different? I don't know. I can't really tell you, but I can give you some ideas. Do you present information in a different way? Are you someone who presents information in a really easy to digest formula? Can you do things better than other people in a certain way? Are you just different, right? Do you look different, sound different, have a different outlook? Do you film in a different area? How are you different? And it's going to be different for everybody. Think about somebody that that vlogs, okay? And vlogging is not the easiest pathway to blowing up on YouTube, by the way. So if you're someone who's like, oh my gosh, I want to start a vlog channel, you're probably not going to blow up in 6 months like other people, because that is a much harder thing, because again, the niche is much wider and it's harder to get in front of those people. But in this case, I want you to think about people who vlog. There's a million people out here vlogging their life away. What makes each of them so different that people want to watch them? It's literally just their personalities, where they live, what they've got going on, all of that, okay? So if I start vlogging, I have a very different take because I'm a millennial. I'm not Gen Z, right? I am married. I have teenagers. I live in the South. I live on a farm. I live 3 hours from an airport, 2 hours from a Target. Like, all of these factors make me different than the Gen Z girl who's living in New York City. That doesn't make her better or me worse or whatever. It makes us different, and it's gonna help us both stand out. So what is your differentiator? How can you be different than the other people doing what you're doing in your niche, in your industry? Now, last things last. And this one's really important. We've covered what you need to get started, the cameras, the setup, the things, right? Your content, what it needs to look like, how you're gonna differentiate yourself, all of that kind of stuff, right? Honestly, if you will do those things and you will be the person who doesn't stop, you will win every time. So many people who start on social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, podcasts, like whatever the scenario is, they will start and then they will stop. They will start, they will stop. They will start, they will stop. They will not be insanely consistent. They will start for a while, they'll do really good for a while, and then they'll stop. Or maybe they don't do good for a while and they stop from the beginning. The people who win on every platform, the people who win every single time, are the people who do not stop. The people who are consistent. You may be frustrated 2 months from now because your views are not going up, you're not sure what to do, blah, blah, blah. You have everything you need in this video, right? So if your views aren't going up and you're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Okay, so are you being different? What is your niche? What do those people want to see? Can you go research some more content ideas? What about your content is kind of drying up? Have you learned the platform? If you have, then like, what about what you're doing is not working, right? You may be frustrated in 2 months, but the people who are frustrated in 2 months and because of that frustration stop, they just stop like creating content, well, they ain't gonna be anywhere in 6 months, right? And then at the end of 6 months, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I just didn't get anywhere. Well, no shit, Sherlock. But the people who are frustrated at the 2 month marker and say, I'm gonna keep pushing through. I'm gonna pull these levers that I know to pull. Can my thumbnails get better? Can my titles get better? Can I, my camera presence get better? Can I pull into a different like differentiator? Can I get a better camera? Like, can I sit in front of a window more? Like, whatever the scenario is, they're gonna pull these levers and find things that work and be consistent even when it doesn't feel like they should be. Even when they're like frustrated because 2 months in, they only have 100 views. Those people at the end of 6 months will be much further along than the people who quit after 2, obviously. But they'll also be so much further along because they gave it time. They gave it time, they learned, they did the things, and they didn't stop. So do not stop. If you want to blow up on YouTube in 6 months, do not stop. Go change, go pull a different lever, go figure out some things, go figure out where you're going wrong, but don't freaking stop. And don't forget to come to my workshop this week where I'm going to teach you how to be loud, visible, and profitable, because I'm going to teach you how to become a creator and teach you a strategy that nobody else is teaching you. We're going to talk about what's keeping you stuck in those 100 view kind of situations. We're going to talk about like how to get out of that, but also how you actually become a full-time creator, the real formula behind it all, and how you become like visible and paid, because that's a big deal. So heyjessica.com/get loud to sign up for that workshop, and happy YouTubing. I can't wait to see where you are in the next 6 months. Bye.